to...
Who is she and where did she come from?
Her name is Malan.
Name Malan.
Welcome.
Oh, yes. Girls, gays and theys, please welcome name Malan.
Alright, good afternoon and welcome to Old and Jaded. My name is, as you guys know by now, I'm hoping, my name is Malan and you are tuned in on a Wednesday. Today is the 22nd of February. Last few days, or couple of days before the end of the month of love, Valentine's Day. I hope that you guys were spoiling yourselves. I hope you guys were spoiling the ones that you deem to love. And I do hope that you did have a great month so far. But I mean, it's not over. There is always much to do. And also, payday is coming up. A lot of people are anticipating the payday, as we all do. So if you haven't planned anything yet, there's still time before this whole little month fest of love ends. So, so we have skipped a week, which is not great, not always great to skip things, because skipping eventually will lead to you skipping a month, maybe a year, a couple of years, and then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, what had happened? So I do apologize that I didn't post last week, but we are back in action again. And what I've learned is that when it comes to doing things, the key word is always consistency, persistence, and endurance. All of these things are those keywords. But consistency is always the recurring theme, the recurring word when it comes down to what we're trying to achieve. And it's not something that I'm successful at just yet. It's something that I would like to become successful at, but as we know, not so great just yet. But we're working on it. We are working on it, and eventually we shall get to where we need to be. So I hope that you guys have had a great week so far. I love doing these on a Wednesday because then I can tell you guys it's hump day, and you can look forward to the weekend. So right now we're on top of the hill, looking downwards at this decline and looking towards Friday. So for whatever you guys are going to be planning and doing, be safe, be careful, and always surround yourself with people that you're going to have fun with. Because, it's not great to always force yourself to go outside or force yourself to socialize with people that you don't want to be around with. But if you're going to be surrounding yourself with people that give you light in life and lift you up, then definitely go about that life. So, that's just my little bit of a spiel today. So, what are we talking about today? I like to get into it a little bit later on, but why not do it now? So today we are going to look at, I'm always, an advocate for, the reason I started Old and Jaded this year was because I did feel the pressure mounting. Is it mounting or mounting? I think mounds are a different kind of thing. I did feel the pressure mounting. You guys are probably going to correct me in the comments, but whatever, all you grammar Nazis out there. Am I allowed to say Nazis? I think I can, whatever. But I did feel the pressure of coming from what we call the pressure from the age that we're at, and as you guys may or may not know, because I have repeatedly said so, I am 31 today in standing. So, what we do in the society that we are in, we like to herald youth a lot. Not, especially in the entertainment world, where I definitely would like to be. There is an ever growing tendency to herald and to uplift youngsters, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old people in the industry. And what that tendency leads to is for us as people who don't, who are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, wherever we might be, the tendency is to believe that we've missed the bus, it's a bit late for us, and I'm here today to advocate and see where this is going to take me, because I do worry about the fact that maybe it might have been too late. Maybe it is too late for me to even do something or to enter this industry. And I don't believe in my heart of hearts that it is too late, but we're just going to talk a little bit about the impression or the illusion that you have to be in your late teens to early 20s in order to become successful within this industry. So I would love to hear some stories from you guys in the comments, or if you'd like to post a link to maybe a video or page that you might have used as inspiration to carry on and to go forward within being in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Maybe even if you're 80 and 90, I know that there was recently, I think it was last year, there was a Grammy winner who was, I believe, 95 years old, which is, amazing. That's an amazing feat I think she was a Cuban singer. I'm speaking under correction, obviously, because I don't know what her name is, but that was an amazing story for me to know, is that even though she was in her, mid 90s, which is amazing. I don't even know if I'm going to reach 90 years old. Come on. Probably going to reach 60, 70. But maybe not, maybe I'll become, what do they call it? A centenary? I don't know, 100 years old person. Which there's a lot of in Europe and Italy, apparently. There's a whole lot of people that have reached the age of 100 years. But yeah, just speaking within the creative field, which is a great feat to achieve, is that you not only did you pursue your career as a musician, as a vocalist, but also what you did do was you also went ahead and was first of all nominated for a Grammy, and also went ahead and won. So I don't know who that person is. I'll do a little bit of research. It just popped into my head that this was something that I noticed or saw, I guess, on some or another article on Facebook. Because as we know, Facebook is where we get all the articles, all the little games and tests to see what kind of personality are you. Are you compatible? Is your star sign compatible with another one? That's what Facebook is about. I don't even think people are posting on Facebook anymore. I don't post what's on your mind statuses anymore on Facebook. I just scroll through for memes, and I scroll through for little games and articles, etc. But also, I do use it for marketing as well. A very good marketing tool, I must say. So if you guys do still use Facebook, which a lot of people believe is archaic, it's also a little bit more serious, than some of the other social media out there. Especially if you're looking at Instagram. I don't know what happened to Instagram. Instagram is not great anymore to use. You don't even see anything really from your followers or the people that you follow, unless you are looking at stories, etc. But on your feed, it's terrible. You're just getting a whole lot of targeted ads. You're just getting a whole lot of random videos. I think everyone is trying to emulate what TikTok is doing, which TikTok did an amazing job at what they were doing. So I don't understand why you have to try and copy it. You can do certain things, like Instagram did start the whole Reels platform, which is great. YouTube started Shorts. All of those kind of things are great, but why do you have to also now try and do the For You model, I see Twitter's doing the same thing. Just stay in your lane. That is why we were using you guys for all this time. But now you're going to go ahead and try to copy and paste what someone already has been doing for quite a while and has been very successful at. TikTok is very young. I think it only came out in 2019, and it is already the biggest platform out there. So I wish people would just go back. I wish these other social media giants would just stick to their lane and try to see what works for them. Because I used to love Instagram. Instagram was a space where you could share and post your imagery, and if you wanted to, videos at the time. I remember when Instagram came out, it was only about posting your photos and images, etc. There was no stories. I remember when the first time Insta videos came out, I wasn't really keen for it at the time, but I did sort of grow onto it, But I still do believe that each of them have their own merits. So it's not really necessary for you to be going ahead and copying what other people are doing. But hey, I guess what do they call it? Is the sincere? What is the saying? What is the saying? What is the saying? See, this is when you're working alone and someone can't correct you. It is not copying, but Jesus Christ. Can I just get to the saying? But I don't know what it is now. Is the most, you guys know the saying where it's like, is the most sincerest form of flattery. God, what is it? Imitation? It's not imitation. But whatever, that's not important today. But what we are, as I was mentioning, it is just a little bit of an inspirational sort of episode today, I want us to all, as people who think we've missed the mark, which is myself. I'm really just doing this for myself. I'm using this as sort of a soundboard, for what I intend to achieve within this year and with the rest of the years to come, is that I feel like I did delay for a very long time, and I decided only last year that, listen, you are 31 now, and what happens 10 years from now when you're 41 and you look back and you're like, oh, I could have actually started that then. I could have been so much further than I am now. But now I'm sitting here and I'm looking back and we haven't achieved much. So I just want to invite and encourage every person out there, especially if you're one of my peers, you in your early 30s, maybe late 30s, and you have a dream, a goal that you'd like to achieve, but because of the fact that you feel like time has escaped and ran away from you, you feel like it's too late for you to achieve it. But I'm here to tell you that it's not the case. You can still go ahead and start today. If you're looking to pursue your career in art, if you're looking to pursue your career in music as a rapper, so many rappers. So many rappers out there today, Maybe too many, but whatever. If you want to be a rapper, a singer, a DJ, if you felt like that was your calling, then definitely go ahead and do that. Because if you're not going to start today, you're going to look back and be like, I could have started then, but then I didn't start then because I was scared, because I had all this crippling self-doubt. And that is what an artist truly is. It is having a God complex versus having crippling self-doubt. There's no in between. It's either we believe that we can achieve so much, and then the next day or the next moment we believe that, hey, what are you doing? The things that you're putting out. Like even right now, as I'm recording this episode, I'm like, the crap that I'm really talking right now today, But hey, I believe that what I put out there does have some worth, that it has a certain audience. And if you do believe and are inspired by what I am saying and telling you today, then please give this podcast a like, and please do subscribe. I mean, I have 5 subscribers listen within a month, so that's good, that's great. And I'm hoping that I do bring along a lot of you. I do get to know who it is that I'm speaking to, and I hope to get to know you through and via the comments underneath this little episode. So yeah, that is my little spiel. So I hope that you guys can stick around, come along for the ride. It is going to be a rough one. It is going to be an exciting one, and we are going to rock it this year. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I know I'm going to leave. I'm just getting used to this thing of, taking a break because taking a break for commercials, So eventually when I do get those sponsorships and I can put in the ads, then you guys know what that's all about. So I'll be back in a moment. Please stay tuned.
This is your resident narrator, Santa. I will be back momentarily. Stay tuned.
Okay. All right, welcome back. And we are on being an old geezer and trying to achieve your goals. That's what we're on about. So, listen, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Even if you feel like it's too late, just know that it isn't, because you're still alive, you wake up every day, and you are able to binge watch a whole bunch of Netflix series, right? All of that time that you've put in there can actually go into realizing your dreams. So every day that you are sitting around and not doing it is also time that you could have utilized to what you wanted to achieve. So let's try to get it, man. Let's try to do it. Let's try to be proactive and not reactive, because there is a difference. I mean, if you are not going to stand for something that you would like to do, then other people are going to put you in a place where they will tell you what to do, and they are going to help you. I mean, not help you, sorry. They are going to force you to help them realize their dreams. You know what I mean? And that's what I decided. I was like, listen, I can't do this corporate gig anymore, because I am 5 years down the line and in this position where I am trying to realize someone else's dream, whereas I know within myself that I am actually trying to achieve something different. I'm trying to achieve something that has been far gone, and something that is supposed to bring me joy within my life, but it's not happened as of yet. I mean, as I did explain to you in other episodes, I am a music grad, and I did perform for a couple of years in the classical environment, but also I did venture into other environments. I was part of a marimba band, if you can believe it. We called ourselves Mr. Afiti, which is a story really for another day. And when I do get the chance to invite my ex-band members back on to this podcast, and we can talk about what had transpired during that time. But it was a whole lot of fun. There was something that I did for fun only, something that helped me explore a different environment and different musical genre, because marimba does really originate from other parts of Africa, especially from Zimbabwe, and the kind of music there was quite different to what I was used to. I mean, coming from a classical music background, you were taught to basically follow the score as is, as the composer intended, no deviation. Well, in most cases, everything I say is in most cases, but that is really the norm and the tradition of classical music. And in some cases, pop music as well, and also more contextually, you follow a very simple timing, what they call time signature. But when it comes to marimba music, or to the marimba playing and music in general, what would happen is you would play what they call polyrhythmically. So each player, it depends on how big the marimba band is. I mean, it can be from 4 up to, 16 players in the band. So you play different parts, solo, alto, soprano, whatever it would be. And each of you play a different sort of rhythm that interlinks into what it into the whole song as a whole. But what would happen then is, it's a difficult thing to grasp at first, but eventually, I got it. And if you can keep if you can keep your mind together, you would discover that it's actually not as difficult as it seems. But it sounds amazing when it comes down to the resultant final work that you're going to finalize. So yeah, that was marimba. So I did a couple of those kinds of things and a couple of performances, and I mean, it was fun. It was whatever I did, and I always will say this, if ever you take anything away from this podcast and these episodes, is that anything that you learn in your lifetime, in whatever career, in whatever job, wherever you may be, everything that you do and learn, and with every person that you encounter, there's always something that you'll take away from it, and there's always something that you will learn from it, and be that good. And also bear in mind, not all lessons are going to be great and positive and good, but some of them might be bad. Some lessons that you learn might be bad, and the bad things are not always going to be detrimental to your life, but it might be something that will act as a warning sign to your life, something that will be there as a sort of a stumbling or maybe a challenge that is there to help you to learn from it as well. So take everything into account. I recently learned that nothing is neither good nor bad until you have seen the bigger picture. So eventually you might see that something in this moment, at this point in time, might seem like a bad thing, but at the end of the day, it might, in the long run, in retrospect, as they say, hindsight is always 20/20. You always see the bigger picture when you look back on your life, So that is just something that I would like to say, is that you will learn from whatever person you encounter. You learn from any situation that you're in. You learn from the different career paths that you have taken, the different life decisions that you have made, the places you have traveled, wherever in whatever you do. All of these things are there to mold you into the person that you are in this current point in time. So a lot of you might be looking at me like, listen, you don't know what my situation is. You don't understand, because some of you might be in a bad situation listening to this, in a poor situation. You might feel that you have hit rock bottom. You might be standing in front of a life-changing moment or life-changing decision that you have to decide on. A lot of you might be listening to me having achieved a lot of your goals, having achieved things that you were praying for or hoping for or planning towards, and you might have achieved those, and your life feels great at this point. But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you are sitting at a point in time where wherever you go, that point in time is there to act as a teacher for the future you. Just as your past versions of yourself was a teacher for where you are now, this current person and this current situation that you are in is going to act as a teacher for your future self. So your future self is currently looking back at this version of yourself and those lessons that you have learned. So just think of that, I like to get very deep when it comes to the things that I've learned. I don't know why I'm the way that I am. I think that being said, and we started this off with, being an old-ass 30-year-old, or in our mind, we think that we are old. But there are perks to being older. When you were 20-something, when I was 20-something, I finished varsity at the age of 22, and I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do. I mean, I knew I was meant to be and intended to be a creative and a creator and an artist, but I didn't know what that looked like. What did that mean, But now, about 10 years later, 9 years later, I can look back and be like, listen, now we have a clearer idea through the different paths that we have taken and roads that we have traveled. We have an idea as to where we would like to go to. And even though it may seem to be a bit late to the party, it is actually not late. You are currently at the right point in time for you to achieve whatever you'd like to achieve. And I am a true believer and better late than never. For myself as a person, if I can just give you a little bit of insight, I've always sort of been a slower person when it comes to learning things, when it comes to doing things. I've sort of been, I'm a quick study and a quick learner, but it does take me some time to, once I understand and grasp an idea and a concept, or even a lesson in life, that is when I start to really accelerate. But it does take some time for me. That is just how it has been. It's not a bad thing. I don't see it as being a bad thing for you to be slower than some certain people. Some people are very, quick fire out of the gate, but you might be someone that has a bit of a slow burn to you, someone that has to be a little bit more calculated. There has to be a little bit more of a plan in place. You first have to learn and to grasp the idea before you sort of take off. And that has always been me, but that is not a bad thing, because I've come to understand that part of myself and that part of my personality really has become sort of the mold that I was put into. And it is also something that allowed me to grow a lot slower, but also at the end of the day, it has helped me become the person that I am. For those of you who know me by now, understand that I am an introvert, and I do prefer my own space and sanctum, but I do grow and learn from the interactions I do have with other people. So that is amazing, It's great to understand and look at yourself in the mirror, or be the mirror for yourself sometimes. Introspection is a great thing, and if that is something that you can do, is to take some time and to actually, I think it was, what is her name, Joyce Meyer, I know that she's an evangelist, or what they call televangelists, and there's one thing that she said, is that you have to make time and set some time aside and have an actual meeting with yourself, so that you can actually see, listen, today we are feeling this kind of way. Why are we feeling that way? What has happened in the days leading up to this, maybe in the years leading up to today, as to why I'm feeling this way? Also, what have I learned? What have I gained in the past couple of hours, in the past couple of days? What am I grateful for? All of these things are what you would do when you are having that meeting with yourself, or when you are doing, as they call, introspection, looking into ourselves. I'm sounding like very, I think the Americans say I'm sounding very woohoo, I'm sounding very spiritual, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Gaia. But this is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being spiritual. For the longest time, I've actually neglected my spiritual side, because of the fact that I saw Christianity, which was the religion that I grew up in, as bullshit, which it is. Sorry to say. The teaching of Christianity, I believe, is bullshit. But what I do believe is that there are intrinsic teachings within each religion, be it Hinduism, be it Tamil, be it Christianity, be it Judaism, be it Islam. All of those have an intrinsic teaching that we can take from it. And I do think that we need to separate religion from spirituality and understand that we do have a soul, we do have energy that needs to connect to the universe and to our higher selves, in order for us to really understand what the full potential is that we are looking to gain from this. This is something very new to me, something, as I mentioned, I neglected for a while, because I did deem myself to be atheist, but I did realize that due to that fact of being atheist, I actually did kill off a part of myself, which is my spiritual side, and I'm now trying to get back to it, and there's certain mantras that on, TikTok, once it learns what you want, it's going to show you all of these kinds of things. So on my For You page, it's just flooded with, things like the lucky girl syndrome. It's flooded with mantras of everything always works out for me. Everything is going to work out for you, even though in your current state, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So that is something, if you take anything away from today, is that there are 3 lessons that I've given you here today. Is that one, is that everything you do in your life is going to help and aid you and give you lessons for your future self. The other part is that you should not, in my opinion, neglect your spiritual side. Rather, try to understand who that person is and what it is trying to teach you. And also believe and understand that everything does work out for you. And I believe everything works out for me. And everything that I would like will come true within this year. So I forget what the 3rd lesson was, but you guys can probably go back and have a look at what that was, man, you know. Also, if you didn't know, I love doing accents. So if I do an accent, appreciate it. Appreciate the fact that I can do these things, man, you know. I can do this. I can do whatever I want because it's my fucking podcast and I'm old and jaded now. And this is what we are all about. So thank you once again for joining me today. I had a lot of fun. I was a bit shaky though. I wasn't really as happy as I thought I wanted to be with this. But it's fine. We will continue. I saw a video from Mr. Beast who said you need to make about 100 videos or whatever you need to make before you really gain any traction. And each time that you do it, you tweak and change something. So I'm not going to feel great every time I do this. I might flow a lot better first in some podcasts than I do the other because I might feel a little bit more energetic, or I've slept a little bit better, or I have a little bit more energy. But I'm always going to give you the best of what I can, and I'm always going to bestow upon you the teachings and the knowledge that I've learned in my 31 years on this earth. So I hope that you will do the same. As I mentioned, please do like this if you like the video, or unlike it, but please don't unlike it. We don't want any dislikes, man. We don't want negativity on this page because negativity doesn't really help us to grow as much as we want to. But see you next time. And thank you for listening to Old and Jaded, episode 3. And I will see you again soon. Thank you and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone from the pronouns, thank you for joining us on OLD and Jaded. See you again next time.